In this web class, we're dealing with the 9 things that mess up hormones. It's Corey Sievers here from the Savvy team, and on behalf of everyone in the community here, welcome along to this web class where we're dealing with the 9 things that mess up hormones. So if there's something that you've been struggling with related to hormonal balance, then you're in the right place. And so if you have any questions, then obviously hit us up in the comments, but also please share this information if you know of people who could benefit. We'd really like you to spread this information. Pay it forward, if you will. So if you're new to what we do in the Savvy team, we're all about helping you reach a higher level of well-being, okay? And so when you tap in with our community, you'll have access to step-by-step action plans, innovative solutions, and all the guidance and support that you need to help you live life to the full and reach that high level of wellness that I mentioned before. Look, it's important to understand that the information I'll be sharing over this particular session reflects my personal research. I'm a non-medical journalistic researcher, really, and my experiences is what I'll be sharing. It's all for educational purposes only, so don't see it as medical advice. If you do have any question as to the appropriateness of the information with regards to your own personal well-being, then, of course, talk it over with your doctor. So in the Savvy team, we really believe that there are 4 pieces of the puzzle to help you reach a higher level of wellness. You need a plan, you need some solutions, you need guidance, and you need community. And so for your best wellness journey, we help you with all of these things. So really, have you ever been in the situation where you've had access to some product solutions, you got a hold of sort of things like that, but you didn't know how to put them all together, how to use them, which things go with what other people have used before you and all that sort of thing? Then that's where we can help. Our community is there to really make it easy, and they've gone before you. There's people there that can answer your questions. There's people there that can share their own personal experiences. There's people, our wellness guides, to guide you along the journey. So, you're never alone. You obviously are taking your own journey, but you are never alone. It's just the fastest way for you to reach a higher level of well-being. So really, we're here to teach you to be savvy. That's what we like to say. We're encouraging you to be savvy. And in terms of this, we're talking about being savvy with your hormonal well-being. But as a whole, we're here to inspire you, motivate you, and guide you. To inspire you by highlighting your own power to transform your own health, and inviting you to be part of the change and part of the supportive community. To motivate you by sharing examples of how other members of the community are already progressing towards a high level of health and wellness. And to encourage you to begin your personal journey. To guide you by providing action plans, programs, guidance, mentorship, access to specific solutions to assist you in achieving your family's health and lifestyle goals. So here are just some of our wellness programs all across the board, but we're here dealing with achieving better hormonal health. Look, if you want to improve something about your health and wellness, then we can guide you there. Our programs are for those whose most pressing needs is to get results and to understand how everything works later. If you want to let go of the dogma, you're ready to let go of opinions, you're ready to just have a community there who've gone before you to guide you there and get you to the results as quick as possible, then you're in the right place. And certainly I think you'll find this 9 things that mess up hormones. I think you'll find this really valuable. So as we get underway, really, I guess the question is, what is it? Let us know in the comments, what is it that you're concerned about related to hormonal health and well-being? What things have you tried? What are you looking for guidance in? Because, we've helped countless people, and our community members and wellness guides have, paid it forward and helped hundreds and thousands of people really improve their all-round well-being. But I guess so many people struggle with hormonal issues today. And so if there's something that's going on for you, the mood swings, the PMS, the menopausal symptoms, the moodiness, the ups and downs, the aches and pains and all that sort of thing, we can definitely help. And it's really dealing with some of the underlying issues of well-being. And I think you'll get a glimpse of that as we go through this information. So let's get underway with the 9 things that mess up your hormones. Before we do, as I'm sort of saying there, what are some of the things that are concerning you? For many people, it's mood swings. It's just the not feeling like they can control their temper, and they don't understand why they're so short-tempered. And what people don't realize is that it's actually hormonally and nutritionally driven. So perhaps that's you. Perhaps you're one of the, if you're more mature, you're one of the 7 menopausal dwarves here. Itchy, beachy, sweaty, bloaty, sleepy, forgetful, and bringing in the mood swings bit there, psycho. Hopefully, I don't think there'd be any psychos on here on this particular session. I doubt that. Perhaps you just have trouble with your anger. Perhaps you're just yelling at everyone around you, and everyone around you is copying it because you're not dealing with the underlying hormonal issues. Perhaps it's not external, but you're struggling internal, where you're sad all the time, you're not feeling right, but you put on a happy face. Perhaps that's you. Look, it doesn't matter where you find yourself fitting in here. We can help. Eminent expert on women's hormonal balance, Cheryl Selman, author of Hormone Heresy, who we had the great pleasure of being able to host on a series of talks around Southeast Queensland. She said that all hormonal imbalance is a sign of poor health. And we love this particular quote here from John Gabriel, that hormonal imbalance symptoms are not enemies to be destroyed, but sacred messengers who encourage us to take better care of ourselves. So that's what, we trust that that's where you're at here. If you're somebody who's been, you're looking to make changes, it's because you're starting to pay attention to these sacred messages and you realize that something can be done. You don't have to be a victim to your hormones, that, you're ready and open and looking for what can be done to improve your underlying wellness and how you're expressing that wellness in terms of hormonal health. So just here's a great story to kick things off from one of the community members. I suffered from polycystic ovary disease for 15 years. I was told that I would not be able to conceive children naturally because my hormones were so disrupted. I was in constant pain, seemed to have constant PMT issues, and never had periods and did not ovulate. After following an action plan from the Savvy team for 1 year, I had a scan and was told that I no longer had the problem. I have regular periods now, I am pain-free, and I did go on to have children naturally. Thank you to the Savvy team community. So look, if your story is somewhat like that, then that's what I mean. We can help. We're dealing here with the underlying issues, the 9 things that can mess up your hormones. From there, we can point you towards specific action plans and solutions and, guide you along the journey to cleaning up your own hormonal health, okay? See, it really comes down to, in which direction are your daily food and lifestyle choices leading you? Are they leading you down towards signs and symptoms and issues? And then you're focusing on the treatment paradigm just to get you back to having no issues, so to speak, rather than looking at the wellness paradigm, where through awareness, education, and growth, you're reaching a high level of wellness and a high, vibrant level of hormonal balance as well. And see, there are 2 fundamentals that can mess up all health, all of our good health and lead to poor health, and also, especially for hormonal, can mess you up hormonally. And that's excessive toxicity and a lack of nutrition. So we assert that these are 2 of the fundamentals for hormonal imbalance, really, that are triggering hormonal imbalance in most people. So getting that hormonal balance back, maintaining a healthy weight, feeling your best could be as easy as 1, 2, 3 for you. Decreasing that toxin exposure, altering your diet and changing your brands to safer products. Increasing nutrition, aiming for the 90 nutrients, the essential nutrients, for example, trace minerals, etc., that your body needs every day to manufacture proper hormones. Optimizing the body's detoxification pathways and other body systems. And we have wellness programs to help you do just that. So if you want to really explore this whole issue of the illness-wellness continuum and our holistic wellness focus, we have a free online class called Wellness It's Not That Hard. And so you can look that up both on our Healthy, Wealthy, Wise blog and also on the Facebook page. So let's jump on into the 9 things that mess up hormones. And by the way, We have a special report that you can download with all of this information, so you don't need to worry about getting it all, taking notes. Take some notes if it's relevant, but obviously you can download all these notes later on. So number one is what you need to avoid is carb blowouts. And so most doctors seem to focus on elevated cholesterol and worry about cholesterol, yet chronically elevated insulin levels caused by high carb consumption. It's implicated in diabetes, heart disease, osteoporosis, cancer, angina, elevated triglycerides, and numerous other health conditions. And see, insulin is a hormone that has a wide range of effects in your body. And so when you have this chronic high carbohydrate consumption, that can lead to chronically high insulin levels, and can lead to insulin resistance. And insulin resistance precedes type 2 diabetes and many other medical conditions. And, cells become resistant to the effect of insulin. So the higher levels of insulin are then needed in order for insulin to have the proper effect. By the way, insulin also can cause trace mineral imbalances with, for example, magnesium and sodium. And you'll learn a bit later on in one of the other issues is that mineral imbalance can mess up your hormones. So with a high insulin level, it creates a domino effect of metabolic disturbances. And it's also high carbohydrate consumption has been linked to systemic candidiasis. And this can be a problem for many people, especially women, because 75% of women suffer from at least one yeast infection during their lives. And if you have a toxic yeast overgrowth caused by eating large amounts of sugar or, prolonged use of antibiotics, birth control pills, estrogen therapy, cortisone, all these sorts of things, that can really lead to this candida right throughout the system, this problem. And that can lead to more food cravings and sugar addiction and all that sort of thing. But candida produces 79 different toxins known to wreak havoc with the immune system and can impact your whole mitochondrial function, and that impacts your hormones. And so it's a big problem. Candida overgrowth symptoms include many things that might be considered a hormonal issue. Depression, anxiety attacks, mood swings, lack of concentration, drowsiness, poor memory, headaches, insomnia, fatigue, bloating, constipation, bladder infections, menstrual cramps, vaginal itching, muscle and joint swelling, pain, hypothyroidism, and skin problems. And so the other thing that's scary is that candida waste products produce like a false estrogen in the body. And that tricks your body into thinking that there's adequate levels of this. And so signals a reduction level of its own estrogen. So similar messages can also be sent to the thyroid, reducing thyroxine production and initiating a worsening hypothyroid problem as well. So this can all be a result of, mineral imbalance, not understanding proper food choices, and that triggers more and more issues just by, being out of balance hormonally, out of balance with your cravings because of mineral issues, and then candida. And so really, to deal with the issues, we've got to go to the root cause. So what are some action tips here? Decrease your sugar and fructose consumption. It's definitely a wise move. Follow the Eat Savvy, the free Eat Savvy regime that we have, which helps you to optimize your food choices to look for foods that are higher in nutrition and lower in unhelpful things like toxins and irritants. Follow a savvy weight management plan could be helpful. We have a number of weight management plans. We have a rapid fat loss protocol, our Eat Savvy approach, as well as Mediterranean-inspired eating plan. And we're also working on a body transformation challenge as well. So get your gut health in order, really important as well. For example, maybe you're suffering from leaky gut syndrome, and that can be causing, again, a domino effect issue that messes up your hormonal system. And supplementing with probiotics and prebiotic resistant starches can help you with your gut health, of course, help with the microbiome health, and also supplementing with bovine colostrum, because this can help to seal up leaky gut. So there's some helpful action tips with number one, that first issue of carb blowouts and the what ensues from that. The number 2 thing and the 9 things that can mess up your hormones is stressing out, and stressing out especially at night. Levels of the stress hormone cortisol normally tend to drop at nighttime, and so it helps you wind down and get to sleep. But if you become anxious or tense in the evening, you get cranky with the kids, cranky with your partner or whatever, then it tends to mean that your cortisol levels will keep surging and you're going to be too wired to sleep properly. And stress and improper sleep will mess with your adrenal glands, leading to further imbalance. And we'll be talking about more on that in just a moment. So another success story from the community here. I have much to be grateful for since finding out about the Savvy Team Wellness community. Ever since I was put onto the pill to deal with erratic bleeding as a young teenager, I've had 10 years of depressive episodes and hormonal imbalance. More recently, I developed severe endometriosis. The hormonal balancing action plans and detox sorted me out. Later, after going in for surgery, doctors told me that I no longer had endometriosis, no scarring, and so I avoided an unnecessary surgery. So number 3 in the 9 things that can mess up your hormones, sleep deprivation. And it can be a bit of a vicious cycle because a lack of sleep raises your cortisol levels, and cortisol cranks up your blood sugar that we just talked about there. And then when it plunges, it makes you stressed out, cranky, and then craving more food, and the cycle continues again. So this constant blood sugar up and down and eating of the wrong foods messes with your adrenal glands. And plus, when you sleep properly, when you sleep, the levels of the hunger-related hormone called leptin are intended to surge, signaling that you don't need to eat. But when you have issues leading up to that, this can mess this whole process up as you're going to bed, leading you to toss and turn all night. Your body doesn't produce the right amount of leptin, so you end up feeling hungry the next day and therefore prone to overeating, prone to eating the wrong things, prone to weight gain. So here's another testimonial from the community. The first winter I spent in Melbourne, I experienced winter blues, also known as seasonal adjustment deficiency. And at the beginning of the second winter, as the days shortened, it was starting to go down again. I started on the Savvy Team's Moon and Menopause Action Plan, and I found it very supportive in coping with winter. It got me through 3 winters, after which I came home to sunny Queensland. So certainly the light exposure can really mess with your hormones, and it's both not getting the proper amount of good light, but also junk light at nighttime by being in front of devices too late into the night as well. So that's not really in these 9 things, but it's certainly something we're taking into account in our wellness programs. Number 4 is afternoon coffee hits. The late afternoon coffee hits, if you've not dealt with your blood sugar imbalances, can trigger cortisol. And cortisol is the culprit here again. And caffeine signals your body to boost the production of cortisol, which can make you feel anxious and definitely not in a sleep well mindset if it's had too late in the nighttime. And so too much caffeine can also mess with your adrenals. So go easy on the coffee if you have hormonal imbalance. Okay, so and often if you've got hormonal imbalance, it's linked up as well with adrenal burnout, and so you might get tired at times and be using coffee to keep you going, and that's triggering more and more problems. So we can help. Our plans really help you to get on top of that, but certainly being careful with your coffee consumption can help you move in the right direction. Coffee is full of great polyphenols, and certainly there's a lot of research showing that people who are drinking coffee actually have improved longevity, all sorts of things like that. But there are one of the biggest issues is that the polyphenols are not accessible when you're drinking them in your latte. So the milk is so destructive that it devoids all of the benefit of the polyphenols in the coffee. And so that's why many people have been tapping in with our wellness community, know that we might tend to drink it black or with a touch of heavy cream. And the fat is actually beneficial for your hormones and is less likely to bind up the polyphenols and the nutrients in the coffee. In actual fact, it enhances it. So that's the story for the Eat Savvy protocol, not the 9 things that mess up your hormones. But number 5 is dodging exercise. Now, without regular exercise, your body won't produce and release the optimal amount of endorphins, and they're your feel-good chemicals that help you feel positive and alert. And they also keep your immune system functioning well, increase the level of sex hormones as well. So the more you move, doing the movement things, so cardio, but not like chronic cardio, like hours on the treadmill. Certainly high-intensity interval training can be great. Pilates, hiking, weightlifting, walking, lots of the low-intensity walking, some swimming. This all helps to produce the right sort of endorphins without releasing too much of the cortisol. What a lot of people do is they hit the treadmill, and that releases cortisol in the body, which is your aging hormone. Like it produces aging in the body, and certainly can mess up your hormonal balance. So because again, with our whole Eat Savvy philosophy is to get the right things, optimize the things that will move you towards a greater level of well-being, and lessen the things that really are problematic for the body. And the wrong type of exercise can produce too much of the negatives and not enough of the positives. So why not make it easy on yourself and do the right types of things? Plus, studies show that exercise prompts a drop in the levels of the hormone called ghrelin, which suppresses appetite. So some helpful action tips: limit your caffeine hits before 3 and 4 p.m., so not later in the day. Try to relax at night and avoid working on the computer or using a bright device late at night. Start up an exercise program. Use relaxing essential oils in the evening, and we have some articles on the blog to point you in the right direction, or otherwise reach out for our recommendations. And looking at stress-relieving nutrients such as St. John's wort, valerian, B vitamins, and the compound known as lactium, which stimulates GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that helps you to promote a more restful state. So again, we have an article on that. There's 4 stress-busting nutrients. That's on our blog, so you can read up on those particular ingredients. So number 6 is not shopping safe, as we like to call it. See, many men and women who are having hormonal problems have not fully eliminated the number 1 cause of problems, and that's exposure to endocrine disrupting chemicals. These are proven by the World Health Organization to impact your hormonal well-being. The WHO released a list of 800 chemicals used in personal care as well as home and cleaning products that are directly capable of interfering with the hormone receptors in your body. Some of the ingredients have been linked to breast and prostate cancers, amongst other problems. So change brands. Do not procrastinate on this change. Touch base with a Savvy team member today for assistance on our brand recommendations. If you'd like to receive actually the World Health Organization Endocrine Disrupting Chemicals report, then just message the word chemicals, just chemicals, and then follow the instructions. So message the page, so in Facebook Messenger, just message to the Savvy Team page, chemicals. Follow the instructions and we'll get you that report on endocrine disrupting chemicals from the World Health Organization. But to give you a little bit of a glimpse, back in the early 90s, they looked at the 2,983 chemicals that were used in personal care products. They tested them, found that 884 were classified as toxic, with links to harmful effects such as biological mutation, acute toxicity, tumors, iris irritation, all that sort of thing. But it's most notable here when we're talking about hormonal imbalance. 218 of the chemicals in the 90s used in personal care and home care products were linked to reproductive complications. Yet if your friend was having trouble falling pregnant, they would probably not believe that it could be chemicals in their personal and home care products. But as far back as the 90s, it was reported that that could be the case. Fast forward to 2012, when the World Health Organization released their report, and they said not only were there chemicals that are toxic, but 800 of the chemicals, like over and above all of these other ones that might be toxic, they know that 800 of them are definitely endocrine disrupting. meaning that they can be strongly linked to breast and prostate cancer, to endometriosis and infertility, to diabetes and obesity, to sexual development disorders, to autoimmune diseases and asthma, to heart disease and stroke, to Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and even ADHD and learning disabilities. But since we're in a hormonal balance talk here, breast and prostate cancer, endometriosis and infertility, sexual development disorders, directly proven that these chemicals interfere with your reproductive system. So if you have not started shopping safe, then this could be part of your problem. And a lot of times guys do not think it has anything to do with them. So take notice, fellas. EDCs have been linked to many male fertility problems, including erectile dysfunction, declining sperm count, and prostate problems and cancer. So if you want to be like Bond, but not like depicted here, you don't want to be a soft Bondy, then, it would be wise to take notice here. So here's another testimonial from the community. Thanks to the fact I started taking regular nutrition before I went into menopause, I think I fared better than many women. I wouldn't say that I really had mood swings, but I do know that I was definitely more likely to fly off the handle and seem to get angry easily until the mood and menopause action plan. As a result of my experience, I've recommended it to many women to help with anger and moodiness. And if you want to know more about any of these action plans, our hormonal balance action plan, our mood and menopause action plan, then just reach out to us. We'll be glad to point you in the right direction. So number 7 is not loving your liver. All right, not loving your liver. The liver plays a major role in metabolizing hormones, especially estrogen, and it plays a big role in detoxifying the chemicals that can interfere with hormone balance. So, for example, if you are exposed to endocrine disrupting chemicals, it's the liver that has to really detoxify and eliminate them. And so the liver also, a strong liver and digestive system ensures that food you eat can be readily absorbed throughout the body as well, of course. And so it helps with nutrient absorption. So liver-loving foods like broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, beets, garlic, lemons, artichokes, asparagus, all of these things can be beneficial for the liver. And you'll notice a lot of these on the Eat Savvy diet. Liver-loving herbs, including milk thistle, dandelion root, turmeric, plus a whole bunch of the green superfoods that we recommend, like spirulina, chlorella, wheatgrass, all those sorts of things can be brilliant for the liver. Digestive strengthening foods, good for the microbiome, for example, yogurt, kefir, unpasteurized apple cider vinegar, sauerkraut, miso, all good, but taking digestive enzymes and probiotics with meals are also helpful. So another testimonial from the community here around the importance, or around all these people have experienced hormonal balance. They've suffered from hormonal imbalance and moved towards a greater level of balance thanks to our action plans and the information that we share. By 23, I'd suffered 2 miscarriages. Yet after only 3 months following the Savvy team's hormonal wellness strategies, I fell pregnant with my first son, now a teenager. I have 3 strapping sons, and I'm truly passionate about helping others take the simple steps I took. Number 8 in the 9 things that can mess up your hormones, aggravating your adrenals. And I alluded to this a bit before in some of the other steps, but the adrenals are involved in manufacturing numerous hormones. They're involved in blood sugar regulation, the regulation of the body's minerals, producing and maintaining energy levels in conjunction with the thyroid, and producing stress monitoring hormones. And the adrenals could be considered somewhat the shock absorbers at the core of the endocrine stress response system, and responsible for important hormones such as adrenaline and cortisol, involved in the fight or flight response. And so adrenaline deals with that short-term stress, while cortisol is produced as a result of both acute and long-term stress. And remember, we talked about the problem with cortisol earlier. But prolonged stress can be disastrous for the adrenals and then disastrous for hormonal balance. Initially, stress results in elevated cortisol levels that results in weight gain, especially around the midsection, can lead to blood sugar imbalances, even things like thinning skin and muscle wastage, but memory loss, high blood pressure, and dizziness. But for women, Add to the list things like hot flushes, night sweats, excessive facial hair, and other masculinizing tendencies. Overworked adrenals will eventually crash, and this is what's known as adrenal exhaustion, where the whole body is pretty much unable to maintain the proper natural hormone production levels. And since the adrenals contribute to about 35% of premenopausal female hormones and almost 50% of postmenopausal female hormones, compromised adrenal function profoundly affects hormonal balance. So progesterone is the primary raw material for producing cortisol, and when the glands are in overdrive, the body will divert progesterone to the adrenals to support cortisol production. And so with reduced progesterone, the body may experience estrogen dominance, leading to PMS, hot flushes, night sweats, migraines, fibroids, heavy bleeding, breast tenderness, weight gain, and a whole myriad of other symptoms. So can you see that the stress that you're not controlling, that we've sort of already dealt with there, and the high cortisol is sort of diverting your progesterone, what progesterone your body does have, to manufacture stress hormones rather than balancing your hormones. So excessive cortisol can also block progesterone receptors, further contributing to low progesterone levels and estrogen dominance. And these imbalances are primary reasons why adrenal exhaustion leads to estrogen dominance. So some helpful tips. Restoring adrenal function is the prerequisite for achieving hormonal balance. So there are some nutrients that can really make a difference, and all part of our action plans, but certainly some of these basic nutrients are part of our 90 nutrient protocol. So B vitamins, especially B5, vitamin C and antioxidants, great for helping the adrenals. Protein and amino acids such as tyrosine and phenylalanine, brilliant for just supporting adrenal function. Trace minerals, magnesium, so important, but also enzymes in the green superfoods, so important. So if you're low in trace minerals, then your adrenals aren't going to function properly, your hormones aren't going to function properly. But if you are suffering from adrenal burnout, then adaptogenic herbs such as the Withania somnifera, otherwise known as ashwagandha, Siberian ginseng, Cordyceps sinensis, the Cordyceps mushroom, ginkgo biloba, these are all helpful herbs for all-round well-being and for adrenal function. But of course, rest and relaxation. Rest rebuilds the adrenals. So early to bed and maybe not so early to rise when you have adrenal burnout. Some more success stories from the community. No more moody blues. I've spent the last 20 years suffering from cycling between anger and depression with no one being able to help me. At first, I used the Savvy 90 nutrients and then the hormonal balancing action plan. No more moody blues before my period, and also my fibrocystic breast disease and lumps have gone. So number 9, our last one in the 9 things that mess up hormones, that's ignoring trace minerals. And I've already alluded to this, but all of the minerals in your body, all of the hormones in your body need trace minerals to be fully functional, to be manufactured and fully functional. You can't afford to be depleted in trace minerals. It's one of the foundation supplements that we recommend in the Savvy team. For example, zinc and copper are both critical for normal hormone synthesis. Zinc is an activator of a couple hundred different enzyme reactions in the body. It's required for the pituitary gonadotropin and also testosterone synthesis. Copper's used in a lot of neurotransmitter stimulation, really, for neurotransmitters. And that's the sort of the brain chemicals that communicate information throughout your brain and body. Iodine, it's another one. And iodine is pivotal in thyroid hormone synthesis. And so deficiency of iodine are known to play a role in thyroid conditions. And this can lead to all sorts of hormonal imbalance issues as well. But trace mineral supplementation is essential for health today. Pretty much soils have become depleted in most farming areas, and only major minerals are added to stimulate the growth and the color of produce. And so really this is pretty well known that nutrient depletion in foods is not new. If you're being told by somebody that all you need is a balanced diet, it is simply outdated information you're being given. See, Back in 1936 in the US Senate, they reported to the US Senate that it's bad news to learn from our leading authorities that 99% of the population is deficient in minerals. And then Dr. Walter Mertz from the US Department of Agriculture said in 1977, in the future, we will not be able to rely on the premise that a balanced diet will provide all the necessary nutrients, because such a diet will be very difficult to obtain for millions of people. Well, I think we're in the future now where people are having trouble. So the US Department of Agriculture also did a study of beans, carrots, and tomatoes, and they saw a significant mineral decline just from 63 to 1999. And that's a long time ago, 1999. So it's got worse. I just don't have updated details on this. Looking at the change in mineral content in one medium apple. I don't know whether all this information is widely publicized. I think they gave up on doing it because they didn't want people to freak out that there's no minerals in the food. But all of these different minerals like calcium, iron, magnesium decline considerably. We're so depleted in magnesium nowadays, and yet the percentage change from that you can see here was down 82%, iron down 96%, phosphorus down 84%. So forget the apple a day. There's been a mineral decline recorded in meats, and they've recorded that when certain minerals become depleted, then we have health issues becoming elevated as well. And this isn't new news. Dr. Weston Price reported this in 1939 in his Nutrition and Physical Degeneration book. And so he believed it was the commercially preparing and storing of foods that stripped away all these vitamins and minerals that were necessary to prevent disease. So we really need to supplement nowadays. So two-time Nobel Prize winner Dr. Linus Pauling believed that you could trace every sickness, every ailment, every disease to a nutrient deficiency of some sort. He coined the term orthomolecular medicine, which was treating disease with specific nutrients, and he was the only person in history to be awarded 2 unshared Nobel Prizes in 2 different fields. So not just some backyard guy, pretty heavy-hitting research PhD. So Nadia overcame thyroid issues, HRT, obesity, and depression through being savvy. Julie got rid of, cleared up her thinking, had more energy, reduced her cravings, lost 12 kilos from being savvy. Deb got rid of hormonal mood swings, depression, those sorts of things by being savvy. Angela got rid of endometriosis and period pain, lost 17 kilos as well. So, all following these steps. So if the 9 things that mess up hormones and taking action on avoiding these things and following our step-by-step action plans, if it can work for all those people that I've shared with you, then it can work for you. So if you want more information, visit the Healthy Wealthy Wise blog. You can go to the success stories section so that we're at savvy-team.com/HWW, standing for Healthy Wealthy Wise. And you can go to the success stories section and find some of those stories that I just shared with you. You can achieve hormonal health, optimal health, and hormonal balance. You definitely can achieve it, and you can do it faster with help from the Savvy team. It's really a choice. We love this picture today. I choose to be healthy. Each and every day you are doing actions. You have food and lifestyle choices that lead you towards a high level of well-being or towards sickness. So we encourage you to choose to be healthy. One of the first things you could do is visit the blog. You could download our free Eat Savvy Diet. Start following that. Download the 9. Go to the blog. Search for the 9 things that mess up hormones. Follow the steps. Download the report. Rewatch this. Follow that. Reach out to the community, and we can help you. So we would love to find out how we can help. You could let us know in the comments, but fill out a how can we help form. Reach out to us, request a how can we help form. Fill that out. It is at the moment only available old school, like a piece of paper that you fill out. You can scan that and get that back to us. And we'd love to be able to then just see what you're dealing with and point you in the right direction. So if you're not already part of our Healthy, Wealthy, Wise Facebook group, then I would request an invitation. Jump on into that group where you can start to communicate with some of the community, and we can tag you to some of the information that could help you. So yeah, I really do hope you found the information valuable here. And so if there's something that you know could help somebody else, then share this post with them. And as I said there, jump on into the community. We can tag it to more information there and sort of start taking you towards the next step for you. So I'll just take a little look at the comments and see what we have here so far. Thanks for all the positive comments, guys. Exciting, great to see you communicating with each other. So yeah, Emma here saying, let me see whether I can stretch this out for you. The Savvy Team's easy as 1, 2, 3 philosophies have given me back my life and balanced my hormones after years of havoc with them. And I would never even consider using any other products than the ones we recommend. Such a blessing, brilliant. Easy as. Easy as. Linda writes, thanks to the fact that I've started taking regular nutrition well before I went into menopause, I think I fared better than many women. I did share, this was actually Linda's that I shared earlier. Now, I wouldn't like to admit that I had mood swings, but I do know that I was definitely more likely to fly off the handle and seem to get angry easily different times of the month, till I came across the amazing herbal formula that we use, that we recommend, that magically took my anger away. So the standard joke in my family has been, Mum's not angry, she's low in happiness. Here we go. What else have we got here? Thanks for sharing, Linda. All right, very good. Well, thank you for all of your great success stories there. And look, if you're joining here and you're watching this for the first time, then reach out to us. We'd be really happy to invite you into the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise group, take you to some different information there, and begin your wellness journey. Yep, with the Savvy Team, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3 as you start to hear. We need to decrease toxin exposure, increase nutrition, optimize the body's body systems and detox pathways. You know, a lot of your hormonal balance issues could be solved right there. Could also be solved by eating savvy. But look, if that's not getting the results you want, then we have all the hormonal balancing action plans and our mood and menopause action plan. They could help you as well. So again, if you found this information valuable, please invite someone else. Take the time to let them know about this information, and make sure you request an invitation into the Healthy, Wealthy, Wise group so that we can help you to be savvy. I think you'll be glad you did. So we'll catch you again next time round.